I'm Mark Bridge, and you're watching Pop Culture Galaxy TV. So guys, we're one step closer to the merging of the Fox X-Men and Fantastic Universe with the MCU. Now, I know a lot of people aren't a fan of the whole Fox-Disney merger for whatever that means for the entertainment business on a whole. It means less competition. It means that Disney could possibly become the overlords of all that is geekdom, and what that could mean for them sort of taking advantage of that. Like, this is the only place you'll be able to get that kind of entertainment. Well, I guess I'm an optimistic person, and you may see as you watch more videos with me, a lot you might say, damn dude, you're kind of forgiving optimist. That's just me. Like, I love this shit. You know what I mean? This is kind of stuff I love. I love entertainment. I love art. I love all this. And it's and it could cloud my judgment sometimes. Sometimes it takes a while for me to look at things and be like, you know what? That was kind of messed up. Or, sometimes it's blatant in my face where, nah, dude. And sometimes it's before. Like, for instance, I still have not, and believe it or not, I have never seen the Josh Trank Fantastic Four movie. I swear to God, I've never seen it in my entire life, and from the beginning, I decided I wasn't gonna watch that movie, only because of what it represented. You know what I mean? It just from the fights between the studio and Josh Trank, from the fact that they just wanted this movie to come out before they lose the rights to Fantastic Four. This is like the second time they're doing that bullshit. The first time was with the Roger Corman movie, and this was like another example. Let's do a cheap, quick Fantastic Four movie. And I guess that's where they got the idea of doing this sort of Cronenbergian type deal. But a lot of fans were rejecting that before the movie came out, and they said, quick, we gotta reshoot and make it more Fantastic Four like. But still, I haven't seen that movie. I know it sucks. I'm not even gonna waste my time and just no. So the first step to the Fox-Disney merger was the Justice Department kind of giving their provisional approval of the deal. The next one was the Fox shareholders have to approve the deal as well. And everything between that time, you had the Comcast making that bid, and things was touch and go for a while with the whole Comcast counter bid. But Disney got that Mickey Mouse check, wrote that check, said, nah, B, I need this. And they made that $71 billion offer to the Fox shareholders, and of course, it was an offer too good to refuse. So the Fox shareholders, except for one guy who's still suing for some whatever reason, they all approved of the deal. So that's one step out of the way. Now the next step is a lot of other regulatory government bodies have to approve the deal. But Disney did say that it should be finalized by the first half of 2019. And funny enough, the first half of 2019 will see the conclusion of Phase 3 of the MCU, and of course the story that began since 2008's Iron Man. So if they're going to retroactively put a credit scene that will show maybe the Fantastic Four or mutants coming, who knows? I don't know. I'm about 5%. I think there's a 5% chance that the post-credit scene for Avengers 4 will have some sort of Fantastic Four or mutant-related event to tease what's to come. But, I wouldn't bet on it. Like I said, there's a 5% chance. I think Kevin Feige, he doesn't lie a lot. He might stay coy. You can tell when he's staying coy about certain things, and like for instance, the whole Spider-Man thing. He never outright lied that he wouldn't be in Civil War. But, he never admitted it. But he continually says like, I have no plans for the mutants. And well, I'm sure he has plans. Like, I'm sure he's thinking it. Come on, we're all human. He's thinking in his head what he could do with the Fantastic Four, with the mutants, how he could incorporate them if he gets his hands on them. I'm sure that's a conversation he's had with his creative team, and just more on a, not like write it down, this is exactly how it's gonna happen, because they can't waste the manpower thinking about that stuff if it's not a foregone conclusion. But I'm sure he's had that conversation. But I'm sure what he's put down on to paper are things that he's sure about that's coming, like Guardians, whatever may happen with that, with James Gunn, with Spider-Man, which is now shooting, and what, Black Panther. Maybe Black Panther is the next thing he's thinking about with Ryan Coogler. But as far as anything with the Fantastic Four or the X-Men, it's up in the air. He's probably just gone over it, just like on a preliminary basis, but not anything concrete. So that's why I don't think you'll see anything in Avengers 4 related to mutants or Fantastic Four. But then again, there's a big difference. It could a difference that a year could make. Could really sell that idea. Like, because for instance, if it's a post-credit scene, they could shoot it like right before the premiere. I mean, the shawarma scene for the first Avengers was shot on the day of the premiere. You know what I mean? Like, they, after the movie was done, they went to the bodega and shot that scene. You know what I mean? But the Disney Fox deal looks like it's going along smoothly, apart from the Comcast and the shareholders, but should be smooth sailing from here. But I'm excited. I can't help it, man. We're gonna see a proper Fantastic Four, and we're gonna see a proper X-Men. Like, for me, the X-Men films have been a touch and go. Like, you have some good ones out there. Like, I like the first one because it was like, I'm getting X-Men for the first time on the screen, so I'll take what I can get. And the second one was much better. And then just like third one was like, ugh. And then X-Men Origins, Wolverine, oh my god, what is that? And then First Class, like, it's a good movie, but it's like, why? That, to me, I hated that movie for what it represented. It was like Fox saying, we don't know what to do with this X-Men property, so let's do something radically different. Let's make it in the 60s. And it was like, what? That's what you came up with? Man, fuck that movie. And then Days of Future Past, I think I actually love that movie. I love that movie, even though it's like stinging that it's not my X-Men. And then Apocalypse came out and was like, yo, get out of here with that. Deadpool and Deadpool 2 and Logan on the other hand represents truly what the X-Men property is, which is funny. You're telling me Deadpool can actually do a comics accurate portrayal of the X-Men, but the X-Men films can't? You know what I mean? And then even Logan is like, like, granted, they couldn't do the old man Logan story because of a lot of the characters in the original story belong with Disney, but they managed to get the tone, the essence of Logan and put it in this movie. So it tells me that Fox can do some shit when it's time to do some shit, but they just don't want to do it. So give it to Marvel, because they're always on top of it. They're like, okay, is it like the comics? Good. If it's something that they have to change because it doesn't translate well, they make sure they give you something comparable to what was in the comic to give you the essence, the feel of it. So I'm happy for that, and like, whew, yes. All right. The next news story I want to talk about is Star Wars. There's a couple of things that was announced over the weekend about Star Wars. The first thing is Carrie Fisher will be back. They decided to use unused footage of The Force Awakens, and they may, even though they didn't say it, they may use some unused footage of The Last Jedi as well, because I'm sure Rian Johnson had a ton more footage of what he shot of Carrie Fisher, so you could probably use some of that. But JJ is the one who's directing Episode 9, and he directed The Force Awakens, so I'm sure he went over all the footage he had and crafted his story around that. He said that there was no way to conclude this trilogy without including her. They tried, and they talked to Billy Lord, our daughter, and said, listen, man, we tried, but we have to. And she gave the go ahead, said, listen, it's okay, you can put my mom in the movie, use unused footage. I mean, she's in the movies too, so I'm sure she had no problems with that. So they'll use footage of The Force Awakens, which I'm sure when JJ was writing the story, he remembered things, so it'll fit in organically, because that's how you can organically fit it in. It's not like, oh, they wrote a story and realized they couldn't use the actors, so they decided to take unused footage and then try to force it in. I'm sure when he's writing the story, he's thinking about that footage and writing the story around that footage, so it blends in seamlessly. So that to me, I'm not worried about that. They were never gonna do the CGI Carrie Fisher, even though I think back in last year or something like that, they did say that they had the rights to do it, but I don't think they're gonna do it. They might throw in a CGI Leia in there, in the mix, like a quick shot, so you won't even notice that it's a CGI Leia, but I don't think it's gonna be obvious. So that's one thing. The other thing is, which we all kind of knew from the beginning, that this would be the last of the Skywalker Saga. So it made sense that they wanted to bring her character back. And speaking of which, Mark Hamill is coming back as well, so he will be at the end as well. So obviously he's going to be a Force ghost, even though there's people's theories out there that he just teleported himself. That's another Force power that he developed, but I believe he truly died, and you'll see a Force ghost a la Obi-Wan in Empire and Return of the Jedi. So he'll be a Force ghost. So I don't think, I have no doubts that's what he's gonna come back as. So he's gonna come back. Kerry Russell's coming back. All the main cast that we know, Boyega, Daisy Ridley, Poe Dameron dude, Isaacs, and of course Lando Calrissian himself, Billy D. Williams. He's coming back. So yeah, we're gonna see the culmination of everything. Hopefully, a lot of people were divisive on The Last Jedi. I loved it, but I'm in the minority. Well, am I? This movie made like $1 billion and change. I don't think I'm in the minority here. I think there's a vocal minority who hates the movie, and you're constantly hearing their voices about the movie. So it seems that there are a lot more people hate it than love it. Not to say that people don't genuinely have problems with the film. I'm sure they really do, and they have all. I mean, it's years of build-up. It's kind of like those movies that have these everlasting impact when the sequel's supposed to come out. And it takes so long. It's like years of build-up of people's imaginations of what could possibly happen in these movies. And then when the movie comes out and it completely goes this way instead of the way they thought it would, it's natural if people go like, what the? No, that's not what I saw for this, for what's happening in this movie. So I can see why people were disappointed with The Last Jedi, but I, for one, I was like super happy that it wasn't a retelling of The Empire Strikes Back. That alone was a plus for me. And then on subsequent viewing of the film, I started picking apart stuff that I liked even more and themes that were there and there. I think it's a layered film. Even the haters got to admit that it's a layered movie that you have to watch more than once to really bite into, and that's why I love the movie. So that's what can I say? So yeah, it's the last film in the Skywalker Saga. Then we're gonna move on to brand new territory. Hopefully Ryan's still on the new trilogy he's working on. There's no movement on that where they said that he's off of it or not. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the future of the Star Wars franchise. I still haven't left that train yet. I still love the Star Wars franchise, and I'm there. All right, the last thing I want to talk about real quick is Altered Carbon. I I haven't read the books, but I did watch the first season on Netflix, and I loved it. I love the story. I love the special effects. I ate up that first season in one weekend. Like, I think I finished the entire thing in one Saturday. I love that thing. But I know about the book, and I know in terms of each book, there's a different sleeve, like a different face that the main character Takeshi, he wears a different sleeve in the other books. So I figured, wow, you know, so it was Joel Kinnaman for the first season, and he did such a good job with it that I'm thinking, like, well, does Netflix have the balls enough to recast? Like, you know, you had a great protagonist in the first one. You know, a lot of in a book it's different because it's like you can read a book and people's imagination can adapt to whatever the book is telling them. But to see something on the screen that really sells your story, it's audience could have a hard time getting used to a change. As a matter of fact, The Crown is going to go through that very same thing with new cast members playing the lead. So the Altered Carbon is going through their own change as well. Anthony Mackie, who plays Falcon in Avengers, he will be playing Takashi in the new season. Like I said, I didn't read the books, but you know, I'm still excited. I'm looking forward to what they're talking about, how they're gonna go explore like space travel and stuff like that, which they didn't really deal with in this first season because it was just a mystery, a kind of like hard-boiled thriller. But the next one they'll deal with, like, you know, the exploration parts of it, like maybe the like alien stuff, alien artifact, all of that stuff, and I'm super excited. So I'm looking forward to it. And Anthony Mackie, he's a great actor and he's very charismatic, so I'm there. So all right, guys, leave a comment. Let me know what you think down below and hit that subscribe. You know what I'm saying? So as always, I'm always here on YouTube putting out videos, and just let me know what you guys think. So until next time, folks, peace.